Yes, God, we're gonna do a Sunday night live. Yes, God family, can you hear me? Holla if you hear me. I want to make sure I'm actually speaking through my Bluetooth right now, so can you let me know if you can hear me? Holla if you hear me. Mic check 1 2 1 2, because I want to talk about something very transformative tonight, and that is identity over everything. Okay, can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay, I see some hundreds on. Yes, God. Okay, TikTok. Can TikTok hear me? Can TikTok hear me? Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Instagram. Yes, for tapping that screen. Yes, 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 God. TikTok, can you hear me too? Can you hear me too? I don't always just let people just pop on my live, so I'm not sure. Sandra, Shakur. Okay, everybody can hear me. Perfect, perfect, perfect. First and foremost, I trust that everyone is staying warm and safe and sound as this storm moves through. Or maybe you're not even in the path of the storm, which is even better. It's been wonderful here in North Carolina. We have maintained power and all of those good things. My children had a good time playing in the snow today. I want to talk about identity over everything, okay? And I want to talk about how important it is. 15 inches in Ohio, that's a lot. That sounds like my hometown, Rochester, New York. We don't do those. Is that typical for Ohio, or is that more? Because I know it can get pretty snowy up in the Northeast. That sounds like a lot though. 15 inches. Wow. Well, good. I'm glad that you are still able to be here and present. I imagine that means that you have power and that you're well. Yes, God. So I want to talk about the concept of no, we haven't had type. Well, hopefully all of your things are remaining intact and you will continue to stay supplied for and protected and all of those wonderful things. It's nice to look at. I just don't like to go out in it. My little ones was all in it today. They were just happy as ever. And like literally this much snow. Yes. Okay. Perfect. 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 So I want to talk about identity over everything. Okay. Because the identity that we assume really dictates the lens in which through we see reality. So reality is interpreted to us based on our identity, even though we have been trained to believe that it is the basis of our effort or the things that we do. Okay? Because even before we take the action, even before we do the things, we have first decided who we are, and that identity is what decides the things that we do, the things that we don't do. Okay? So being very clear about what is your identity, right? Who do you believe yourself to be? What do you believe is possible for yourself? These are very important questions to ask yourself and to start to consider, because a lot of times we try to change our circumstances by forcing our way through or by doing different actions without first addressing the identity that we are adopting. All right. So if we have the identity of a person who has always struggled, is always going to struggle, okay, then unfortunately we are going to experience that. If we have the identity of someone for whom everything always works out, for whom has amazing luck, for whom is the exception to the rules, okay, that person who identifies in that way is going to have a completely different outlook on life. They're going to have a completely different approach to life. And because of those things, they are going to get completely different results from life. All right. And so our confidence and our self-concept of ourselves really dictates the type of risks we are willing to take, the type of activities that we are willing to involve ourselves in on a day-to-day basis. I'm not sure what all that noise is, but I know I better not hear it again. It's important for us to really get honest with ourselves and ponder that question. what is it that we are thinking of ourselves? Truly, not what's coming out of our mouth, not the bravado, not the facade that we put on for the world, but actually when I am alone with myself, with my thoughts, what am I thinking about myself? What am I thinking about the world? What am I thinking about circumstances? Am I the kind of person who believes that success is inevitable for me? Am I the type of person who believes that I can accomplish anything I put my mind to? Am I the type of person that believes that I am always going to be protected and provided for? And so when we can begin to shift our self-concept over into the person that believes all of these wonderful things. Yes, God, thank you for the roses, Alejandro. Yes, 3 roses. And thank you for continuing to tap that screen, y'all. I appreciate you. When we can begin to really perceive ourselves in a light of someone who has the same characteristics and attributes of the God that lives within us, right? Already perfect, already whole, already complete, already fulfilled, already satisfied, very grateful, very appreciative. Miracles just drop in our laps. Miracles just flow through us. Abundance just flows through us. Okay, so when we can begin to identify as that person, we begin to see world in a completely different way. We begin to show up to the world in a completely different way. And the world and circumstances begin to respond to us in a completely different way. Okay, because life is not responding to what we want. Life is responding to who we believe ourselves to be. Okay, you see this with college students, right? After you're done, if this has been the messaging that you've been getting the whole time, okay, I'm going to go to school to be this. I'm going to do that. It's really not a question. It's just, this is what I'm doing. Let me go through the process and get it done. Okay. So when you can decide what your identity is, right, you have to make a decision. So identity is about a decision. And it's a subtle decision, but it's a very important decision. And sometimes we have to look at what our current programming is. What have we been told is possible for us? What have we been told is not possible for us? Sometimes we come from circumstances where we've been told that this is our cap. We're not going to be able to be anything better than this. This is as far as we're going. So once you get there, you can just relax because that's all there is for you. So if we're coming, we may have to go back to the drawing board and really ask ourselves the question, is this really my cap? Or is there something else that's possible for me? Is there something else that I have to offer this world? Is there some other way that I can be of service? Thank you, Alejandro, for continuing to tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap, tap. Is there something else that God has put within me that can be of service? And I just came out of an amazing session in my school community. We did a group assumption session together. We did a collective imagination for one another to help co-create. And it was so dope. Like the fact that we were able to tap into one another's thoughts and tap into one another's consciousness. It was amazing. Like we all literally saw it in first time because, and I share this with people and some people think it's woo-woo and they think it's not real, but that's fine for them. The reality is that as human beings, we all share one consciousness. Okay. Yes, we're individuals. Yes, we have individual experiences. Yes, we have individual kind of personalities and realities. But also when you zoom out, we are still one whole organism as humanity. And because of that, we are able to tap into each other's exactly the oneness. Exactly. We are able to tap into one another's awareness and our thoughts. So people have a tendency to think that all the thoughts that they think in their mind are their own. And that's not true. Okay. You are constantly receiving thought impressions from your community, from your neighbors, from your family, from whatever content you're taking in, whether it be movies, whether it be books, whatever media that you are, social media, whatever media that you are exposing yourself to, you are subconsciously taking on those awarenesses. And this is why it's so important to be mindful and to gatekeep your awareness and make sure that you are only exposing yourself to concepts and circumstances and situations that you would like to experience for yourself. So we had this group assumption that we all were kind of coming together and putting our imagination on a particular outcome scene. And that's a kind of a framework that I teach my clients. Instead of focusing on the means to the end, get clear about what the end is, and then go ahead and extract a scene implying that that end is already done. And so that's what we did. We walked through that, coming up with our own individual scenes for one another. And then we all held the vision of that scene for each other. And it was so incredible how some of the things that came up for us when we were holding space for other people, the person that we were holding space for was like, oh my God, I literally have a picture of that. Oh my God, how did you know that? And I pointed out the reason that we knew that is because we all have access to one another's awareness and one another's consciousness, okay? Whether we want to or not. It just is what it is. This is the nature of humanity, okay? We are all sharing, like someone mentioned, this oneness with one another, okay? So it's super, super important to curate what that oneness looks like. Let me take a sip of tea. Y'all, I love the fact that I'm not going to have to speak to you again. I really appreciate that. So giving yourself the honor and gift of identifying who is it that I am being in this world? Who is it that I identify as? See how I spoke that into existence? Somebody laughed at me on Instagram. So being able to say, yes, positive redirection, because stop, I don't talk to y'all too many times. Being able to give yourself the gift of self-reflection and self-accountability. I know that something happened for me when I was in a Bikram yoga class. Teaching by example is a beautiful offering. Yes, God. When I was in a Bikram, nice to see you, Lisa. When I was in a Bikram yoga class, I became aware of how poorly I was speaking to myself in my mind. I was being really mean and really cruel to myself. And that's not nice. Like, why would you do that? Why would you talk to yourself that way? Why would you curse yourself in these ways? Why would you be talking about your body like that? Why would you be talking about yourself like that? And what it really revealed to me was that our self-talk, okay, our self-talk is very important to be mindful of because it really does dictate how we show up in the world. And it also dictates how other people reflect that back to us. Okay? People may not say the exact same words back to you that you say to yourself, but they are definitely going to mirror back that sentiment to you. And I had to notice, even sometimes people said the exact same words back to me. I'm recently noticing I do that and been doing that forever. What, speaking poorly to yourself? Yeah. And it's important to notice that. That's the first step. And it's also very important to have grace with yourself. Yes, Lisa, thank you. It's important to have grace with yourself and understand that there is no shame nor condemnation. Never. Okay? We are always making decisions from the best place that we have access to at any particular season in time. And the way that we can begin to shift ourselves, if we notice that we are no longer in alignment with a particular way that we are showing up, whether it be for ourselves or others, is that we give ourselves permission to witness ourselves. Okay, witnessing ourselves is really so transformative. And witnessing your inner dialogue and your self-talk is very, very transformative because it allows you to understand the blueprint for your life. Like if you literally had to just write down your self-talk and your dialogue out on a piece of paper and then read it out loud, what would that look like? Would it be kind? Would it be loving? Is it encouraging? Is it graceful? Is it gentle? Are you criticizing? Ryan Research Center, formerly with Duke University. Yes, God, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Was there a study done on this? If you were to write out your self-talk, is Sheila True Love in here? Because I keep saying to invite you as a guest. I love your work, girl. I think we had a conversation years ago, but if you're in here, hey, girl. If you were to write out your inner dialogue with yourself on a piece of paper and someone else were to read it, would you be proud of that piece of paper? Would you be speaking to yourself in a loving way? Would you be encouraging yourself? Would you be being kind to yourself? They study mental sharing in the oneness. Ooh, yes. I'm not far from Durham either. I have to look that up. I would be very interested in that. Yes, mental sharing in the oneness is a real thing. It's a real thing. I've had clients that I've worked with where we put them on a particular kind of like mental regimen where I give them particular things to say to themselves or ways to condition or hypnotize themselves in their self-concept. And I remember this one client, she was kind of repeating these things over and over and over to herself in the day. And she said this guy that she worked with, she'd been working with the guy forever. Okay. He never really showed any interest or whatever, but he literally started coming up to her. And even he was like, yo, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I just feel compelled to say this to you. That was in my everything is perfect days, which that's still my days. Like I have the everything is perfect in my life. I did a challenge, and everything in my life is perfect challenge. And so I was really just big on everything in my life is perfect because everything is perfect. It's all about your perspective. Okay. But anyway, she was doing this. She was reciting these things. And the guy kept using the word perfect with her. He kept literally saying exactly back to her what her affirmations to herself in her mind were. This man had no idea what she was doing in her mind. He had no idea what was going on. But he literally felt compelled and was even confused about like, why am I compelled to come? To me, reflected, along with many other things that I've experienced and witnessed my clients experience, the fact that people outside of us are mirroring back to us the way that we treat ourselves. Okay. So if you have people in your life that are treating you poorly, that are not appreciating you, that are not listening to you, that are not honoring you, a question that you need to ask yourself is, where am I not listening to myself? Where am I not honoring myself? Where am I not appreciating myself? What decisions am I making or not making that are implying that I don't love myself? Okay. Thank you, Mike. Is it Michaela? I'm sorry. I know I'm butchering that pronunciation, but thank you for liking my live and sharing my live. I appreciate you. And this resonates with some people and it doesn't, because it requires accountability. It requires you to have to look at yourself and say, damn, I be talking to myself crazy. Damn, I be treating myself crazy. Damn, I be ignoring myself. I really am not kind to myself. Because what happens is when you're kind to yourself and when you're respectful to yourself and you're honoring yourself and you're appreciating yourself, first of all, there's certain shit you're just not even going to tolerate. You check that at the gate. It's just not, we don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? So, and then also, there is an energetic field that you are emitting at all times. Okay, I believe it's called the biomagnetic field. But there's certain technologies that can actually capture this. It is made up of your nervous system. Okay, so whatever feels normal and natural to your nervous system is what you are emitting out, and which also is what is being magnetized to you. So when your nervous system is used to being dysregulated, is used to outsourcing approval, outsourcing validation, outsourcing love, other people who do the same thing. Now, they may not do it in the same ways that you do it, but we are constantly magnetizing to ourselves on a nervous system level. Let me close this window 1 second, y'all. All right. So people who talk about manifestation and they make it sound very woo, but it's actually very scientific. All right. It's actually quantum physics. All right. So is that also trauma bonding? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's trauma bonding. Yep. It's absolutely trauma bonding. So when you are in a position where your trauma that you've experienced, when you have allowed that to define who you are, and you have allowed that to become your identity, you are then going to be magnetized and attracted to other people who have also done the same thing. Now, they may not be aware that that's what they're doing. You might not be aware that that's what you're doing. But we are always magnetizing to us people on a similar frequency. Excuse me. And this is why the best way that you can influence others is to influence yourself. The best way that you can convince other people of something is to first convince yourself. Okay? Because circumstances are never as important as identity. Circumstances change like this. Circumstances can change like this. However, sometimes we stabilize our circumstances by refusing to evolve and refusing to grow and refusing to take accountability for ourselves. Okay? We have to be willing to ask ourselves the hard questions. We have to be willing to acknowledge and admit to ourselves the hard facts, which is maybe I'm the problem. Maybe my standards aren't high enough. Maybe I'm tolerating disrespect. Maybe I'm allowing myself to be used. Exactly. You have to be willing to do the shadow work. Well, no, thank you. This is why I am in solitude in a new city and no longer guilty. Yeah. And that's yes. Hey, boo. Hey, Candace. And being in solitude is great for a season and getting yourself back in order. But the real test is when you're not in solitude, because you don't want to stay in solitude forever. You want to be connected to other people. So that is one thing that you can do to kind of recalibrate yourself and get yourself back. But don't allow yourself that just to be your solution. Well, I'm just not going to go around people. No, go around people and control yourself and take the God-given power that you have within you to select your reality and begin convincing yourself. The best thing that you can do when you are shifting from a lower kind of vibration, a trauma bonding situation, and you're shifting up, is begin to tell yourself the truth about yourself. Convince yourself of the truth, which is that I am already perfect. I am already whole. I am already complete. I am already worthy. I am already enough. I am already the best to ever do it. No one can do it like me. I am always the top pick. Everything I touch turns to gold. I am the exception to the rules. Everything always works out for me. Money is chasing me down. Miracles are falling in my lap. We don't need to convince anybody else of that. Once you convince yourself of that, people will begin to mirror that back to you. God sets a beautiful standard for us just for a season, surely. Yes. It's a spiritual audit for me. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's a spiritual audit. And being willing to see how you have been sinning against yourself by telling yourself that you're not enough, by telling yourself that you're not worthy, by telling yourself that something else needs to happen and then you will be insert the blank. Okay. We were already born worthy. We were already born valuable. We were already born enough. That's why we were born. Do you know the odds of an actual human being born? Do you know the odds of conception that actually lasts and turns into a pregnancy? It's very low. It's very low. And so just by the mere fact that you exist, okay, I want us to really get clear on this. I am worthy because I exist. The fucking end. Not because I'm in this relationship, not because I have this amount of money in my bank account, not because I look this way, not because I have this thing, not because I've done these things. None of that matters. It's because I exist, period. I am worthy because I exist, period. I am enough because I exist, period. I am whole because I exist, period. God lives within me because I exist, period. 500 million to 1. Is that the odds of the pregnancy conception? You all understand that. I want us to understand how low the probability is of conception that carries on to an actual human being created. Every single human being that is alive has a divine purpose and a divine assignment on this earth. I am worried. I am worthy because I exist, period. That's it. You don't need anything else. There's no other qualification that you need. There's no other prerequisite. There is no other test that you have to pass. There is no degree that you have to get. There is no weight that you have to be. There is no amount of children that you have to have or not have. There is no marriage that you have to have or not have. There is no house, no car, no bag, no shoes, no clothes, nothing. None of those things qualify you. We are all qualified by grace. Our worthiness is not earned. It is granted to us through grace. And the more that we can begin to identify with that truth of our being, the less we will feel like we need to prove and convince and persuade and earn our way into worthiness, because that is a losing game. Yes, I am worthy because I exist. 500 million spermatozoa in each male human ejaculation. I'm qualified through grace. Yes, I am qualified through grace. I can't earn this. There's no amount of action that I can take to have earned the breath in my body, the trees outside that give me oxygen, the eyelashes on my face that protect me from the sweat getting in my eye. Okay? There's nothing I could do to earn that. That was given to me freely, lovingly, by an abundant, loving creator who wants to provide for me. The only issue is I keep getting in the way because I keep believing that I have to earn it. And because I believe that I have to earn it, God says yes. God is constantly saying yes to me. Whatever I believe is true. So when I tell myself I'm not enough because I haven't done this, I'm not enough because I did that, I'm not enough because I haven't arrived here yet, God is saying yes. Okay? You're so welcome. Yes, God. Yes. So giving yourself permission to rest in that grace of knowing that I'm already enough. I am already successful, because it's a very different energy approaching life from a fulfilled space versus trying to earn fulfillment. Yes, you're right. I'm getting in my own way because I think I have to earn it, like I'm not good enough. Exactly. And we don't have to do that. Don't have to do that. Don't have to do it. Whatever limitations our mind puts on God, God says, okay, God's not going to fight with us. Now, you're going to struggle. You're going to suffer because you're never going to feel that contentment of that enoughness, of that worthiness. And it's only because the ego mind wants to convince you that there's something else that needs to be done. And the ego is not to be demonized, but it's to be in subservience to the God that lives within us. See, a lot of people are walking around allowing that ego mind to lead them around and tell them this and dangle them like a puppet on the string. Well, you haven't done that yet. Well, you don't do that. Well, you're not certified because of this. Well, what about that? When that happened, that really means you're not enough. Well, you've done this. Well, you've been married this many times. Well, you have this many children. Well, you've never been married. Well, it's like no matter what, the ego mind has a problem with everything. Okay? And of course, society, capitalism, patriarchy, imperialism, all these other things now add on to that, because society also imposes these false rules, these false expectations, these false standards of measure of success. And so we adopt these as our own, and then we begin imposing them on ourselves. Yes, this is speaking to me. Yes, God. Yes. I'm so glad. You speak into my heart. I am blessed by grace. I go, yes, God. I'm so glad that this is resonating with everybody. Uh-oh, Justice is up. So I won't be on for much longer. I was just about to say, I decided to do a live because she took a little nap. And while I was doing my class today with my school community, which I was so excited about that. Because I was like, baby, we need quiet. Okay, we need to focus. But before I go, I do want to invite you to come join us inside the school community. It is a $44 a month investment. We do this work. We condition. We remember. Okay, we remember our identity.
I want some ice cream.
Okay, baby. Okay, let me see what I can do. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, baby. Can I come to get you in 1 minute? Can I say goodbye to my friends? Let me sit. Can we kiss? Go sit down. My boss has arisen. And I gotta go. And would love to see you in here. Remember, and this is not just me selling, right? Because of course I'm selling my offering. But I will say that like being willing to invest in yourself, not just with your money, but with your time and attention is important. Because you are also giving that energy back out. I am worthy. I am worthy of investment. I'm worthy of $44 a month. Yes.
Mom.
I'm worth that to reprogram my mind and my nervous system.
Mommy.
Yes, baby.
Can I have a turn?
Yes. I think it's in there. Go find it. It's in there.
No.
Jace, can you come help her find the remote, please? Just to say, yes, God. So anyways, just to say, like, be willing, and I'm not even just about the book, in general. Like, be willing to invest in spending time. Read books that enrich you. Take in content that enriches you. Do things that feel good for you, okay? Don't wait until a rainy day. Get dressed up every day. Feel good about yourself every day. Don't wait for a special occasion to wear that dress. Wear it. Don't wait for a special occasion to do the thing. Do it. Start to embody the identity of the person who you perceive is already successful. Because who you decide you are, your reality begins to follow. Exactly. Win the day. Exactly. Win the day. And that's part of that. Win the day is part of identity training. Okay. So action follows identity automatically. When you shift your identity, your behavior starts to reorganize around that identity. All right. And the brain filters your experiences based on your identity. Okay. Have a wonder-filled evening with your beloveds. I sure will. And also, just before I go, we have dropped the Bali trip. We are going to Bali October 14th through the 20th. It's officially launching on February 2nd, so you can go ahead. Hey, Sun Alma Oshun. You can go and sign up to be notified when it drops on the link in my bio. We'd love to have you in the prayer circle. We are starting to do group assumption sessions, which was super powerful today. I'm so excited about it. So excited about all the testimonials that are coming through. Come to Bali, girl. You can make payments on it. Go ahead and sign up on the link in my bio. It's going to be an identity recalibration retreat. I'm so excited about that. And we're going to be doing all the Bali things. We're going to be in the rice fields. We're going to be doing the water purification and making the herbal medicines and, doing all the things. So it's going to be a beautiful, amazing time. We're also going to be having yoga. My girlfriend, Diana, is coming. She's a certified yoga instructor. We're going to be having, we'll be doing the 5 Tibetans daily. We will be there's 2 workshops specifically where we're going to learn to train our nervous system, reset that baseline, and then really step into the nervous system identity of our highest and brightest version. And sneak peek, you don't always have to decide what that is. You just have to be open to allowing God to reveal who that is. Because again, the ego mind wants to take, I'm going to be this and I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to be open for God's divine plan for my life. And who knows where it'll take me? Because maybe even my highest version of imagination is still a limiting belief. Yeah. Yes. Yes, God. I'm so glad you found it too. Thank you so much. We'll definitely be following, joining all wild things for you. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Also, inside the Quantum Prayer Circle, we are now officially starting today. We go live every day at noon. So you will have personal access to me. It's just a kind of a grounded check-in that we do, daily gratitude practice. daily, just grounding in and reminding ourselves of our identity. Any perspective reframes that are needed, we'll be doing that. So I'm super excited for that because it really allows the community to come together and feel supported and honored and appreciated by one another. So I love y'all. Have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your evening. And I will talk to you all soon. Okay? Good night. See you at noon then. Yes, God! Can't wait to see you. Bye-bye.